Hey mathematicians, just a quick note to expand upon the movie that you just watched with fractions, decimals, and percents. They gave a lot of good information, but I also want to present just a couple of other ways that you might be able to turn a fraction into a decimal or a fraction into a percent, and that you can kind of add to your knowledge bank as to how to solve these type of problems. Okay, something they did not mention in the video is that the word percent means out of 100. Per meaning out of, and cent like centuries, 100 years. Cent means 100, or might think about 100 cents in $1. And so when we see this percent, we know that it's going to be out of 100 when we're thinking about our fraction. And so then you would find whatever the numerator might be when it comes to the certain problem that you're solving. So let's take a look at her example of 4/5. Okay. So an easy way to be able to write this is to turn this into a percent, meaning out of 100. So I'm going to make an equal fraction to 4/5, turning our 5 into 100, since we know that percent means out of 100. So if you set this equal, we know that 5 times 20 is 100, and then whatever I do to the bottom, I've got to do to the top. So 4 times 20 gives me 80. Because this is out of 100 already, I know that this is equivalent to 80%. Okay. Now, if I wanted to write 80% as a decimal, or 80 hundredths, I know that my hundredths place is 2 places after the decimal, and so it would look something like that. Okay, let's try another example that they gave to us. They told us 4/8, and she mentioned that you could divide 4 by 8. Of course, we'd set it up like this. And we'd have to add our decimal so that we could keep on dividing. I know that 8 can go into 40. I'm ignoring that decimal 5 times. Finish subtracting, and I'd end up with 5/10 or 50 hundredths. Okay, if I were to write 5/10 or 50 hundredths as a fraction, it would look like this. And so I know that 5/10, 50 hundredths, is the same thing as 50% because this is already out of 100. If you wanted to just think about 5/10, we could still set that equal to 100 times 10 times 10, and I'd end up with 50 hundredths. Usually when we've got something in our denominator that is not a 5, a 10, a 20, a 25, then we might want to think about using this division method. If we know that we can easily turn our denominator into 100, so I said the 5, 10, 20, or 25, I know that I can easily turn that into 100, or even a 50. Then you can set it equal and go from there, like I've done down here. But if it's a funky denominator, then I would go ahead and just divide and see what you come up with for your decimal, and then turn that decimal into your percent. Okay, let's look at one more. She gave us 25 hundredths. Okay, and because I know that this one is already out of 100, percent meaning out of 100, I know right away this is already 25%. So I think she did have you divide, and you don't need to do that if you can turn it into 100 and then go from there. Okay, I think that's it. If you have any other questions, let me know. Happy dividing and finding percents. Thanks.